firi adwuma a wotimi yira ne fie kwan no akopie wo bi fie akoda wo bi mpaso edi ho nansa abira wo kwa adwuma no a o otimi firi ho no akwa adwuma no asambra na ne fie kwan no ayira no betimi yedi ho ayi no akọ be ma ne fie no asiesie no otimi prebe no ande fro ne nkwan ahihye fridge mu ama be me no ne ade wo hotimi amwa woni obi wo ho mo wo he ho esoro ho ana he na mo wo woni obi a wo ho 9 years mo nka wade asem wo hotimi amwa. And as soon as say me Panorama a whole weekend into when me and me first no be kwa washing our tete. I feel the mobile kita suitcase. If I can na me and your spinters see. My in your spinters. Why in your spinters? Can you na me your spinters? Really? Why you now want who will be see or China will be seen in him? I dear chair, what a trans Sunday. What share? What share? So what share?
Nobody does Friday night like us. Benjamin Nketia here. Sports Panorama. Big shout out to the Prophet Odro. You're a big man. And to all of you out there, we are live. A couple of things to chew on. The UEFA Champions League, of course, going strong. Really good matchups. Real Madrid Bayern served up a feast. Charlie, Daniel Sturridge is on to some really weird stuff. He predicted that Kane would score from a penalty and that Sane would also get in on the action. He says the next game he will do a video. Charlie, you remember Daniel Sturridge got in trouble for gambling and betting? Probably one of the reasons. We'll get into the Champions League. We'll talk about Jadon Sancho, Coach Nimli's Wakeleg Binomo. He was part of the Wakeleg Binomo top 10. Charlie, the debate is strong. Why is he performing well at Dortmund? Why is he doing it on the Champions League stage? Should he be brought back by Man United, or should they really be exploring the possibility of selling him when he comes back? We'll get into that. The World Relay is happening in Bahamas tomorrow and Sunday. There are, I think there are 14 places up for grabs as far as the World Relays are concerned. Ghana's 4x100 team is the only team out there. So we are competing for a place at the Olympic Games. We are hoping to get one of those 14 slots, or else our path will become even more complicated. We'll talk about the African Games and the unpaid athletes. How many weeks has it been? It's been almost 8 weeks since the African Games ended. So at least 6 weeks now since the African Games ended. Athletes have still not received their monies. Into that as well. Phil Foden has won the Football Writers Award ahead of Declan Rice and Rodri. We'll be talking about that. Player of the Year. So a lot to chew on. Accra Hearts of Folk have just dropped a statement about their recent poor run of form. Oh boy. We'll be getting into that as well. The guys are on the show. Ethan Kwao is here. Yao Jimmy Talbeku Otri. And Coach Christopher, namely Rabbi. Oh, Rabbi.
No more.
It is time again.
Oh, no more.
Oh, it is that time.
Shida Yehovah Zebaut.
Shida.
Petekle. Wake han Yehovah Zebaut. When it's so anima so anama so. You are walking no bale woba. Wako bele yache. O manche yeli aba. Mo fia money. Ba ungo. Ohani kuni yeli fio no. Program ne wake bono ni. The no money program ayala ha na kangbe no oke watchon. Wake jomo wo e. Ayake bie na no kwale ayo ye bie. Abo fam bie to ebeche. Wo ba no ba fen ogbe ya me. Aka pay ko gbe kan bie ani money tuni e bo no ka kechi ni neni tuni e kaye ni. Ni atuni ni meni yeshka na ma pay gbe kan bie amesmo na me pay o sha ma me yoni lebi twane gbeke. You wa jomo epo ketwa me.
Bo jemo
o epo ketwa me. No hana me le akechi ni neni tuni e sani yeli. House of folk fi aketo ni ya no. Ona no ni gba me na. Wana no ni gba me na. Nye bo moden. Nye ya nya atwa ball nye win na. Ye ni abache press conference ba aba we blofo agbagbe ba from blofo left right center. Governor kan nyumo job. Odomo eye show. Me ne baba abore nche ka ko obejen. Okay, Champions League e wo ba. What's the chibe ne? Real Madrid Joe, Bayern Munich Joe, Dortmund Joe, PSG Joe, Wabahan Wole. Yowa, Bilima Wada, no more you came in jail. Ye Yesu Bame. Amen.
Let's start off from the doorsteps of Heart of Folk, really, since it's the freshest thing on the block. Nathan, they sent a statement a while ago. Let me just read the statement and then I'll start off with you because you where you I mean Nathan is a Hearts guy. That's
really?
I don't think
I thought you were an Oli guy.
Are you a Heart or Oli guy?
This is it.
I thought you were an Oli guy.
No, he wants to
Hearts
explain
and
Oli. I like Hearts.
Okay.
But you see, those days when I used to go and watch Olympics, every time I showed up at the stadium, they weren't winning. So people stopped me from going. I don't even know why.
Hold on. Are you saying that you were pulling up at Oli games and they were not winning, so they say you stop coming?
No, it wasn't the Oli fans who said, like colleagues of mine.
See that what?
They said, but you too, why? Every time you go and watch Olympics, they don't win. So
they
barred me from going to watch.
But they display the fans.
Oh, but Olympics fans is a vibe. Yeah. They have a particular. I can't sing it here though.
Let me get to the statement from Accra Hearts of Folk. So basically, they say it was a statement that was released today.
Yeah.
Press release, Hearts of Folk board addresses all stakeholders, and I read, the board would like to address the recent poor results of the team, which we find unacceptable. Please be assured that we are actively engaged in discussions with management and the technical team to address this concern promptly. The board will ensure the club takes all the necessary measures to reverse this trend and to regain our competitive edge. Accra Hearts of Folk has a long history of resilience and success, and we are committed to upholding the rich heritage of our club. They also go on to say that we value the support and dedication of our supporters and stakeholders and assure you that every effort is being made to overcome the challenge. Your continued support is invaluable to us as we work towards a brighter future for Accra Hearts of Folk together. We will navigate through the period and emerge stronger than ever before. Thank you for understanding and your unwavering commitment to our beloved club. Signed, Accra Hearts of Folk board. Now, Hearts of Folk are winless in their last six matches.
Yep. They've won once
in their last
6, 2 in 7. So just for context, let me just run you Hearts of Oak's results from the 11th of March just to provide.
Can we find out where they are on the table?
12. House of Oak are 12.
12th on the table. Okay.
Favorite position though.
They are 12th on the table.
Chelsea are next.
On the on 35 points, right? So in terms of, I always say context. Context is everything. So just let me run Hearts of Oak's results for you from the 11th of March. 1-1 with Bofakwatano.
Okay.
2-2 with Dreams. Then they beat Hearts of Lions 2-1. They lose 2-1 to Samatex. Then they lost 1-0 to Gold Stars. They lost 2-0 to Mediama. Beat Karela 3-1. And then lost 2-0 to Legon Cities. And lost 1-0 to Accra Lions. So that's Hearts of Oak's run from the 11th of March. In that spell, they've won 2 games.
Basically, 4 losses in their last 5 games.
4 losses in 5.
2 games.
Nathan, you have been speaking to Mr. Soa Dote, who is right in the thick of operations at Accra Hearts of Oak. Now, Coach Abubakar was supposed to be the revival, or was supposed to be the point of revival after their issues with Matic, I believe it was called.
Martinez Koopman.
Koopman left.
Good,
and then they had
Matic came, yeah.
Matic came, good. And Charlie, so I see House of Oak ran through coaches.
They are
like,
joke.
they ran through so many coaches
from
that
2009
you can actually
till
lose.
Now,
Yeah.
Hearts of Oak have run through a lot. About
They are literally
20.
averaging.
So Koopman was last season.
Yes.
Then this season is Martin Koopman.
Yeah.
No,
Koopman was this season.
this season.
No,
Yes.
this season.
Matic was last
That
season.
is good.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So
Koopman
Matic
to Koopman, then Bashiru Rahim. Abdul Rahim Bashiru, who's
Interim.
the assistant, served as the interim
yeah.
head coach. Then now we have Abubakar Ouattara.
Good. Now, last 2 weeks, an interesting video appeared of Ouattara confronting the fans, explaining to them the reasons why the team was on a bad spell, talking about how he wasn't in charge of recruitment, talking about how the personnel they had was not quite adequate for the job. I've heard this week that he's been put in charge of recruitment for Accra Hearts of Oak. I don't know to what extent that is 100%, as in he has 100% reign to bring in whoever he wants. I don't know how true that is. I mean, the club have not officially confirmed it, but talking to the one of the board members, long serving Hearts of Oak guy in Soadote, one of the triplets, as we like to call them here. What are his thoughts on the team's recent failures? And again, are they going to do anything about it aside firing coaches? Because they've done that on countless occasions. It doesn't appear to be solving the problem.
Well, he did admit, and I'll be fair to him, he did admit on Football Made in Ghana that the entire Hearts of Oak entity wasn't happy with their output this season. And I remember he said it at the very start of that interview, and I found that to be very striking. You know, he admitted that things hadn't gone well, and they were hoping to end the season on a respectable note and then pick up the pieces ahead of next season. So on that score, yes. But I'm not surprised that they are going through what they are going through, because this season hasn't gone well. They didn't start the season well at all. There was a lot of confusion around the team. The recruitment really didn't help. Players were out of form. They didn't have stability. And then they brought in Ouattara, who kind of strung a few wins together, and then the bad times have popped up again. So like I said, I'm not too surprised as to what has happened. What I will say about this statement, I find it very strange, and to be brutally honest, very unnecessary. This is why I think it's unnecessary. Look, when you are going through a bad patch, I understand you want to get the fans on side. But I personally think Abubakar Ouattara, in meeting the fans after that loss to Legon Cities, I kind of think he said, or he met the fans in person, said whatever it is he had to say. The fans seem to understand him, and life has gone on. I do not quite understand why this statement was put out. Because as management, that's what you are supposed to do. Get your head down and get some good work in and try to steer the team away from losses. Maybe it helps with the optics. Maybe it reaches out to a larger fan base or a larger fan audience. But
because you know that these people like locking up training grounds and stuff like that when things are not going well. So maybe this is sort of, like you're saying, a little break the ice moment,
yes, break
at least
the
for
ice
now.
Moment. It keeps the fans off their back and everything. What Hearts of Oak should be doing is actually winning games on the pitch. That is what they must do. there is a strong lack of proper quality in this team, and that is why they are struggling. Run through the results I mentioned.
Yeah.
Hearts of Oak have scored 3 goals once in that spell. Once in that spell I mentioned.
That is the bane of it.
It was the problem under Koopman. And
His
Koopman ended up taking shots at even the national team, talking about how
Yes.
our goal scoring problem was a national issue.
So Hearts of Oak do have scoring problems.
Problems.
They do have problems putting the ball into the net, and it's showing when you run through the results. Look at that. Like I gave you. So, for example, Hearts of Oak's other big win in the season was a 3-0 win over Real Tamale United on the 25th of February.
Yeah.
Apart from that game, 1 goal. They only scored what?
Hamza Issa scored twice, and Salim Adams scored that screamer.
They put 2 parts Hearts of Lions, 2 parts Dreams. Apart from that, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, and zeros and zeros. So clearly there is a quality challenge, or a challenge of quality when it comes to this Hearts of Oak team. I believe what they can do is try and ride out the season and finish in a respectable place, and put in a lot of work in rebuilding the squad. Now, Hearts of Oak currently are doing a lot of great things on the infrastructure side of things, and we give them thumbs up for it. It is important. But I feel they need to really, really look at this. Maybe, like you're saying, reports are saying that Abubakar Atara will have a lot more control on players. Wonderful. But they need to start planning ahead of next season. They need to bring in quality. They need to ensure that this team can compete, because all of a sudden, the established teams are not only competing against themselves, but they now have to deal with the likes of Mediama, Dreams, Nations, and Samatex. And a lot of these new age teams are ready to do what is right. Accra Lions, to an extent, are ready to do the right things to get their football off the ground, and so that football takes them places. So what I will say is that, yes, the statement is good. I completely disagree, because I think it's a great, I think they should knuckle down and get some work done. If this is to placate the fans and keep them calm, it works. But okay, then what? This weekend, then what? Then another loss. You understand? So I feel that they can do a lot more in terms of, they need to do a lot more in terms of the results. Excuse me, getting the football to be better, and they need to start winning games. 1 win in 6 is not good. 1 win in 6 means that out of a possible 18, you've picked 3. Now, had Hearts won those games, do you know what it would mean for them? It would probably put them at the top of the table, because Samatex are on 52. Right? So they need to do it. They need to do better. They really, really need to do better. The statements are well and good. The infrastructure side looks promising. The football on the pitch must start picking up, and it must start picking up well. And like I said, Vincent Soadote admitted on TV that they were not happy, which is good. Now all hands should get on deck and get the team to start going in the right direction in terms of results on the football pitch.
Let me talk to Abeku real quick on Hearts of Oak. I'm sure you've been following their conversation for a while. The coaching merry-go-round that they've been involved in, locking up training grounds. Now they can't score goals. From your own standpoint, where are the Hearts of Oak problems, and how soon can they solve these problems?
I feel the Hearts fans should take a bit of time for this coach. I mean, he assumed office on the 9th of February. This is May now. He will need a bit of time. Result aren't promising, but we were told that, by Vincent Odoto Isowa, then again, one, that he's an experienced gaffer.
He is. He carries himself like one.
Of course he is. You look at his track record, and he is. And for me, the point is, it will take time for the players to understand his style of play. The manner in which they consider that goal against Accra Lions, I don't understand. They want to play the new or the inverted style. I do not know whether. I mean, coach is here. I know he fancies that style where we keep the goalkeeper as part of the play as a third defender, if you want me to put it in that manner.
You don't do that with a fat goalkeeper.
Oh, he changed him. He changed
yeah,
him.
he changed
He changed him. No, in that game you are referring
speak.
to. No, in that game you are referring to.
You speak.
Coach,
Oh, yeah, you
I
speak.
mean, that game that you are referring to. He
The
changed the
Accra Lions.
Accra Lions.
Fair,
He
fair.
changed. It was Kwesi Nketiah who was in the post.
Tally.
Yeah, they signed him from Susubribi.
True.
So yeah,
Fair.
it was Kwesi Nketiah who was in post. He replaced Richard Atta.
Fair.
Look, these Division 1 and Division 2 boys will take time to understand the Premier League. It is one of the reasons why I posed that question to the soccer intellectuals, ladies soccer intellectuals owner, Robert Duncan, the RFA chairman for Central Region. Now I was trying to find out from him that, look, these Division 1 and Division 2 players, is it that are they so interested in wanting to travel out that they don't want to understand our Premier League and how it is played, or in comparison?
But Samatex are playing with players recruited from sort of the same division.
That's Nuruddin Amadou, and that's Nuruddin Amadou had coached Adriana Stars, who are two-time champions of the Premier League. He understands the terrain, and he's inculcated that in the minds of the players. Now, during the recruitment process for Samatex, because you mentioned them, I spoke with Paul Anyaba a lot of time when they wanted this chap from Dwarfs. How can I forget it? Sumaila Abdullah. When they wanted that guy, they had this mindset of recruiting not only young players, but young players who understood, because then Dwarf had played with that guy in the league already, had come down.
So players who had some,
means of experience and quality, playing.
And then a coach who had won the championship.
And the coach who have won the championship before. So for me, they will take time to understand. He has 2.5 years, on contracts.
Nobody ever sees out their contract duration at Hearts of Oak. You actually believe he can last 2.5 years?
No, I don't think.
So then the argument you're making about needing time won't work. So hold on. So you're saying first of all that Hearts of Oak have a player quality problem.
One, that's it.
Where their players are just not up to the standard of the Ghana Premier League quite yet. Majority
of them
deserves time to also be able to get his philosophy across.
That's it.
2 points.
That's
okay. Coach, you have watched Accra Hearts of Oak play. We've analysed on scorecard. We've analysed here. Where do they go? Because look, there's a limit to releasing of statements. There's a limit to how you can handle things via PR. At a point, something has to give.
Nketia, Hearts of Oak's biggest problem is the one Nathan Kwai spoke to. All the decision makers, apart from the newly constituted board. They should not be releasing statements like this. So they should check themselves. Check yourself.
How so?
You remember when Samuel Boadu was given the appointment? Samuel Boadu came in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
I think that time he was the third coach appointed in that season. He won the league. These same people said Samuel Boadu didn't know how to coach. You remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that
Because he didn't speak English better.
because he didn't speak English better, because they felt that Samuel Boadu was not up to the African terrain, and so he should get out. And I remember very well, I sat on this same show. If that is the requirement, then look, Ouattara and Dana Nachole.
Abubakar Ouattara.
No more can only get no Ashwele.
Oh.
I'm telling you honestly.
Oh, Charlie, but this standards you are setting there.
No, but that is their standard.
No, but he came at the point in which he joined Hearts of Oak. Really, I mean, from what Nathan has read,
I'm saying that the same thing happened to a Ghanaian coach. That Ghanaian coach went on to win the league, win the FA Cup. The following season, defended the FA Cup.
And was still
we were told that he was not good enough, that they should sack him, and then they sack him. No, if what I'm saying is not true, tell me. Then Odote, Alaja Kambi, they are the recruitment officers. They sign players for Hearts of Oak.
The triplets.
The triplets.
Yeah.
3 musketeers.
Dabi
Mokoma Chefitai.
The triplets. You know that. Don't do that.
You understand?
Hold on. But who is the third? You asked the third. Who is the third?
You see? Then they turn themselves into recruitment team. Then they recruited all the players before they went and brought the coach that you mentioned. Monije Holland,
Martinez
and said they were coming to play the Dutch style of football. You remember?
I remember.
Those were the words. We are going the Dutch way of playing football. And I told them, it doesn't work like that. So what Odote should be saying, Honorable Odote should be saying is that, look, from now onwards, I'm washing my hands off player recruitment. Because like I said on scorecard last week or last 2 weeks, Hasselhoff's biggest problem is the Three Musketeers. The playing body itself is far below the standard required. Look, I'm not hitting on Richard Atta. But in Ketia, why should Richard Atta still be a goalkeeper at Hasselhoff? Look at the shape of the man.
Charlie.
That you see, we shouldn't joke about these things.
You know, you called him out on scorecard a while ago, and
the
the following week or two,
we saw him training good. I said, "Damn, man, I've gotten this man to look like a goalkeeper. I've gotten him now to begin to look like a goalkeeper." Because I laid back a bit. He's gone back to default setting. You saw him the other day.
No, but see, not to even put it like, I think Atta's shape and form at his club
It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
A lot of times, athletes take it personal when people talk about their
What?
size and their weight, but you are a professional.
Ben,
You can't be doing that.
Do Hasselhoff have a physical trainer?
They should. That's what I'm saying. That
That should be a no-brainer.
There
should be a no-brainer.
Your number one goalkeeper should not be
Be
looking,
looking like the way he's looking. So the problem is gargantuan, and you see, there's so many problems at the same time that they will need to address.
Is it that guy likes like midnight Indomie and
Ke woro, ke jaworo, ke so Indomie, and can mix ke salad, ke leaves, and ke kumole. Oh no, mo kamo.
We don't know that for a fact.
Oh, I can't do me yo.
We don't know.
nobody.
We can only speculate.
No, but
And we do not know.
I've heard from certain quarters. It's not even just him.
No more.
Like they say, like the players generally, like
Indomie.
Omo pe anaju Indomie.
Oh no, mo kaje one day.
And you trust your source.
Oh no,
Oh,
Indomie.
of
ke-
course.
Oh,
Look, Ben.
The
these
people
guys-
who gave me this information, they've covered the Ghana
let me
Premier
tell
League
you something.
more than 10 years.
More than 10 years. And if you look at the way, the man cannot bend over. How can you be a goalkeeper? You cannot bend over your stomach. Cannot bend over your stomach. That is unacceptable. So that is an issue they need to address. All the three goalkeepers there are all below standard. And therefore, so
Actually, they have 4.
I've not seen the fourth one. Or they've all had it.
Because Shaif Sharif, he was there. He was in
So-
the post for a while.
Okay.
Then
So
yeah, Richard
So
Atta-
in Geta, if you look at what the statement seek to achieve, that cannot be achievable.
Hold on a second. 2 things for me. Do you think that Abubakar Ouattara has spent enough time to be able to turn this team around?
No more.
Secondly, they struggled with goal scoring across 3 different coaches.
Yeah.
How do they deal with that?
As for the coach, truth be told, he needs time. But like I said, per their own standard, if he doesn't win the league, they must fire him.
Yeah, but he's not going to win
The league.
So he has to be fired. That is the standard they have set. They treated a Ghanaian coach like that. You cannot treat a Ghanaian coach like that and treat any other coach differently. So if he doesn't win the league, they should fire him quick.
But what stage are Accra to folk now?
They don't even have it. Look, they don't know what they're about. They are in 6s and 7s. If you talk about they not scoring goals, this has been the problem for over 3 seasons. Since Barnier left, see that group of players.
And even Barnier's time, they were not
Barnier
prolific.
scoring goals. They were not prolific.
They were not prolific. They just got enough goals to get by.
Exactly.
That's why they need time.
No, that's why they need proper structure. You
quality
see,
they
you
have,
need to put the House of Hope. I can boldly say don't have a recruitment team because their recruitment team is Honorable Dote and then Elijah Kambi and the other third that makes the Three Musketeers.
Hold on a second. You see, I like that point you're raising. Just to wrap it up before, so we don't spend all the time here. Structure is so important in our football governance. And somebody mentioned something. Look, I think that Hearts of Oak need to be honest with themselves.
Exactly.
About what stage they are in as a club.
Yes.
Now, you ask yourself, are you a rebuilding team?
Let the
my
supporters
point.
know.
That's my point.
Are you a buying team?
Let the
where you
supporters
think
know.
that if you're a buying team, you think that we are close to contending for a title, but we just need a few more pieces to complement us, and then we can get there. Are you a title contender?
Let us know.
Clearly,
Where are they now?
Clearly not. So they need to properly define what stage they are in and take the appropriate measures. And the problem with these things is that clubs like Hearts and Kotoko can be a little proud to take or to accept that they are in a rebuilding phase. Look, if you are dangling around 12th, 13th, 11th, you are clearly a relegation eligible team.
It's as simple
and
as
I
that.
was saying this.
It's
look,
as simple as that.
Especially in the Ghana Premier
you
League.
are clearly a relegation eligible team. And if you are eligible for relegation, it's clear that your squad is just not good enough.
It's not good enough.
And I've seen Ghana Premier League teams where squads have been sort of made, but they've had great coaches who have carried them over the line.
Exactly.
I've seen teams that have been really good, but I've had mediocre coaches, and the players can carry the team over the
Exactly.
line. Hearts of Folk are in a situation. I think it's too early to judge Abubakar.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they are a really confused team at this point.
Nketia-
And we don't want any
Just to sum it up,
dressing room lockups. Just do the right thing.
they had a bad recruitment. They should properly evaluate their team, assess the team, and some of the players will have to go.
Yeah.
They are not up to what is required. They are
But
far below the standard.
just a quick one.
And that is the way I think.
Yeah,
Just a quick one,
yeah.
just to sum it up. You mentioned structure, and that's the main thing affecting Kotoko and Hearts. Because
They don't
was
have
it
a
last
structure.
2 weeks or last week we were talking about Kotoko visiting Menchia and all their problems, and now they've had to.
If Hearts of Folk had a live patron like Otunfo, they would have visited
would have
him.
gone
too.
there. Don't
and
be
they've
writing
had 2
statement.
draws so far, and so things are a bit stable to an extent. And the next thing you know is right now we are talking about Hearts of Folk. So clearly there's something wrong with those 2 teams, and one of the main things wrong with those 2 teams you've already touched on, structure. Now for Hearts of Folk, I think they have issues with goalkeeping and striking. So goalkeeping, how many teams do you know have had as many as 4 goalkeepers in a season, or as even 3 goalkeepers in a season? So there's Shari Swipe, there is Richard Atta, there is Kwesi Nketia, as I mentioned, who manned the post in their game against Accra Lions. Then there's also Richmond Ayi on the team. Remember Richmond Ayi?
He's still there.
Yeah, he's still there. He's still on the roster. The guy who went to put powder, I don't know, powder,
How can you forget
some
him?
white stuff
How
on his
can
face.
anybody forget him?
He's also there. And if you watch that goal they conceded, one of the goals they conceded against Lagos Cities, Richard Atta's reflexes, poor.
He cannot bend over his stomach.
Very, very poor. He should have saved that ball, but he couldn't. So clearly, they have an issue with in the goalkeeping department. Whoever is recruiting in that department should really, really step up his or her game and ensure that if Richard Atta is still on the team, they should clearly check him and get him in shape, because it's not just a bad look on him as an individual, it's a bad look on the club, because you can't have your starting goalkeeper look like that.
You are arguably our most prestigious club. Arguably.
One time
Your-
an
your-
asset
your-
to Ghana.
Your number one country.
It can't look like that. Then you look at the striking issue. Hearts of Folk at this point in the season, they've scored 27 goals. 27
They've
goals.
considered just about the same number
Yeah,
of goals.
26. They've considered 26.
There you
They
go.
scored 27, considered 26. Now 27.
Manchester United
we are going
behavior.
to week 29.
Yeah, with 29. So with 27 goals. Out of those 27 goals, Hamza Issa has scored 11 out of those 27 goals. And he's a young chap who came from the academy, Auroras. He's 21 years. And Koopman called him, he looks like and plays like a Romario. And he's one to look out for the future. But if you have just one player scoring almost half of your goals for the entire season, it's a bit of a problem, especially when you don't have other players complementing the goal scoring efforts. If Salim Adams doesn't score one screamer or 2, then you have virtually no one coming to the aid of Accra Hearts of
That's
Oak
why they are
when it
losing
comes
games
to
all over the
when it
place.
comes to goal scoring. So if Hamza Issa doesn't score, more or less 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, no one scores, and Hearts of Oak end up either drawing
And if you watch Hearts
or
of Oak
losing.
games, the finishing is shocking. Like some of the chances they
They
miss.
get. Yeah, so that's what makes me believe that it's
But
not.
then I spoke to a player. He says that they don't help each other on the field of play.
When one runs out of position, and coaches, yeah, one runs out of position, the other to cover up is a problem. So there's a means of tension.
Is this
It
tactical?
has to do with the
is this
fitness,
tactical or this chemistry
fitness,
issues on the pitch?
lack of tactical awareness.
That's the way.
And then players not being very fit. It is when we are all fit. That is when you exit, I can leave.
Run.
And you
That's
see,
it.
And to also add to what Abeko was saying, just before we move on, we've had issues in the Ghana Premier League where, like we're saying, players almost belong to factions that have recruited
that's
them.
the thing.
And
Hearts,
see, men are pass it over now.
Look,
Now we not dealing with
What? Let me read the message somebody has sent to me. Now they said that at a point, Sebastian Barnes, he was appointed head of scouting, but he left due to unfulfilled promises.
Of course.
Some of the appointees, I'm told, are unhappy. And then there's the goalkeeper's trainer issue. Remember, Eric Oforientry was on Hearts of Oak's books.
Oh, fantastic goalkeeper.
They had an issue, and then he left. So clearly, there are problems, huge internal problems at the club.
Solve your problems.
You should have seen the Accra Lions go.
Hey, proper
play,
build up play. Accra Lions, I think we can even have a show to talk about the outliers in the Ghana Premier League, aka the teams who are doing well and putting their things in order. Accra Lions would definitely be in that mix. Structure, football, recruitment policy.
Nation, Summertex.
They should stop pushing.
The new clubs are doing.
They are doing football.
They should stop releasing such statement.
It is unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
What is the proper content in that?
Nothing. That the supporters should be patient to do what?
Let me get to some messages and then we'll talk some track and field. This one says, a sweet evening, guys. Bedroom Pep Guardiola from Ontario, Canada. Charlie. You see, today I'm watching the show with my new Lile.
Oh, no more.
I've told her I'm popular in Ghana, so I bet give me small shout out.
Bedroom Pep Guardiola.
He says, is Hansi Flick better than Poch? Can he improve this team? Or we should give Poch another year? That's a question to be answered.
To have their own
I'm telling you. Alkaline says, as for Hearts, perhaps we the youth should form a proper ultra group. The chapters have lost their relevance. Instead of the leader of the chapters creating a vibrant support base with graffitis, or you mean tifos, and loud chants at the stadia to put fear in even the Hearts players perform, you find him seated at the VIP section. Ooh, shots fired. I like that. You know, to be honest, a supporters group should not be.
Should be sitting in the VIP.
VIP there. Open there, really. Need to job from them. New Town says investment in sports is key. Wants our athletes to qualify, and kudos to Dreams FC. They did their best. They really did. I believe coach is good and needs time. We shouldn't think of sacking him. Okay. Somebody's vouching for Abubakar there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he needs time.
Yeah, he needs time, without a doubt.
The context of his entry, he knew him.
This one
Samuel came in with under the same condition.
This one is, we miss you guys. You guys are fantastic. Salutes to Rabbi Ben. Please, I want to make an appeal. We want commentary on UEFA Champions League from you guys. Hey, guy. It's a direct appeal. Charlie, if it worked via direct appeals, they're like, would have done a lot of things in this life. Anyway. Let's get more messages.
Like right now, they run some NBA.
They do more things. Direct appeal. Our video from Akosobo says, Evening Ben, let me say I'm proud in my lifetime to have seen players like Kaka, Modric, Zidane, and the Super Cruise. Congrats to Mediawa on their news. Nathan, why are you laughing?
Yeah, I know.
Lambert Dodo says, good evening, Ben and TV. Yes, Sancho is playing well at Dortmund, but I think he should still be sold by United. The player must be disciplined to play at the top for a very long time. Why do you think Pep let him go? But the Karim Adeyemi guy be solid though. What a player. I'm surprised he's still at Dortmund, honestly. Wilson from Kasua says the best sports show in Ghana. Never miss it. Real Madrid is winning the Champions League. Alonte Piotr from Ablekuma.
Abue.
Alonte Piotr, I can mean it. Why?
Abue. That's your name.
Good evening, guys. Charlie Poch is cooking something special. Chelsea will finish in top 6. United will finish 8th and lose the FA Cup final. Blue is the color. See some agenda. So tomorrow and Sunday, Team Ghana will attempt to qualify for the Olympic Games. At least the 4x100 team, guys, is alarming. So with some few weeks to go, Ghana doesn't have a representative at the going to the Olympic Games. Nobody.
and yes.
Not track and field, not boxing, nothing like so far. So Azamati Benjamin, Joseph Paulamoa, Isaac Botio, and Ibrahim Fuseni will be in Bahamas this weekend. Like I said, there are 16 relay slots. So as in the relay slots, there are 16 of them. Ghana only has a 4x100 male relay team. We don't have a mixed relay team. We don't have a women's relay team. We don't have a 4x400. We only have a 4x100.
We saw the women run in the African Games,
Yeah.
but of course, I mean they
You must accumulate points
Yes,
over
they haven't done
like
that.
certain events to be able to qualify, and we haven't qualified. So there are 32 teams in Bahamas this weekend, and basically what happens is that the top two. So I believe there are 4 heats of 8. If you qualify top 2 from day one, you qualify for the final of the event to make some money, and then you qualify for the Olympics. If you can qualify on day 1, you get to go through the same format, 4 heats of 3, and then the top 2 will qualify for the Olympics. If Ghana doesn't make it through this particular system, we will have to wait for a ranking system. And I think the ranking system is more complicated than this, because if you look at the slate of athletes competing, a lot of the top level nations who have a really good pool of athletes, like you take the United States, they have so many great athletes
they can make up
competing
for
for slots that they didn't take even their best people out there, because they know that what they have like so much to pick from. They know they will have like athletes getting in. So Team Ghana, we have it all to do. Yeah, I'm sure you've been following this so far. What are our chances? So we have 2 new entrants in the relay team. Fuseni, I believe, is in school in Florida.
USF, University
yes.
of South Florida.
South Florida, good. He's run our quickest time this year.
Yes,
I believe, yes. And then there's also Botio.
I think there's Agetu.
Yes, Barnabas again.
Barnabas
and then
again,
there's Safo Entry, I believe, is a reserve for this team. So far, our relay team, if you watch, they seem to be retrogressing. Is this something we should be worried about? What do you think of our chances at Bahamas this weekend?
I think it's about the chances will be fine if we can fine tune the baton change, because the last race that they competed in before this one, that was the pen relay in Pennsylvania, USA. It was the baton change because we were leading. Then there was a baton change that slowed down our progress. Then Jamaica came in and they took first position, and we ended up finishing in second place. So for me, it's all about that baton change. If they can fine tune it, I know that's the most difficult part of relay racing, 4x100 relay racing, because it's so fast, it's so pacey, and it's so furious. So if you don't get it right, you either get disqualified because the one you are passing to might end up running out of the changeover lane, or you might end up slowing down your time or your progress because you delayed in the baton change. So for me, it's just one thing that they have to attack. It's just one thing that they have to attack: the baton change. If they can fine tune that changeover, they will be fine, and they should stand a chance of finishing in the qualification spot to earn a spot in Paris. Because what I've seen so far, they are okay, they are good. They are not as good as the 2019 group that qualified to the Tokyo Olympics. That group was utterly brilliant. I mean, I think they had
That's when Adzamati had hit his peak.
Yeah, I think they had just like 1 week training together because of all the issues with payments and all that, and they managed to get it to work. But with this group, I think they have new guys also coming in, and it will take some time. But we don't have the luxury of time, so they need to work on that one bit that has shown that we have a problem. I think it even showed in the Africa game.
It did.
It even showed in the Africa game, the final. Yeah, there was a changeover. Yeah, there was a bit of a changeover issue, and we ended up finishing second.
But I thought that Hammond, who was in the African games, was it Samuel Hammond? I've forgotten his first name, but he ran a really good race. I'm surprised he's not going to the relays.
Yeah, well, with these issues, there are several factors. Sometimes you have to look at scheduling, because some of them do not necessarily have the schedule right down to a T. You also have to look at injury issues, because normally, I think one issue I have with the athletes is you don't normally hear of their injury issues. the injury situation.
Yep.
You don't hear of it till the final minute. Then either the person is forced to run injured through the injury, or someone comes in very late, and because they haven't been together for a while, everything just gets distorted. So that's the only issue I have. But once they can clean up that act, I think they should be fine.
So Ghana should be able to clean 14 slots available. Nathan.
Just a bit of correction. So the name you were looking for, Solomon Hammond.
Solomon Hammond, not
yes.
Samuel.
Yes,
Solomon
Solomon
Hammond ran a really good race in the 4x100 final of the African Games. I feel like
You see, we are hoping they go and qualify. But the way we as a country we treat these people, it's not the best.
I'll come to you fully for that. Let me just take Nathan's thoughts on the role of. Okay, so let's talk about the Ghana Olympic Committee.
Look,
Really,
it is not the best.
Now, and the Ghana Olympic Committee blames the ministry. Look,
it's a money matter.
It's a money matter. The boxers, for example, had April 18 as a deadline to pay $18,000.
okay.
Yeah, and it constitutes their a bit of their flight ticketing, feeding, accommodation.
They're supposed to go to Thailand for.
They're supposed to go
for
to
the next round of
Thailand.
qualifiers.
Absolutely. For the Black Bombers.
That money has
for
not
example.
come yet.
No.
How much is
And the
that?
deadline passed.
18,000.
Yeah.
Let me just give you
Jesus
a launch
Christ.
pad to what you are coming to. So I find something really interesting in the country, right? Where the last time we qualified a large contingent to the African Games, the Olympics was, I believe, 2004. Yes, 2000. We took 36 athletes. 2004. We've been retrogressing since. We've been doing, I believe, 10, 9, 12. We've been hovering around those numbers. Now, in the last Olympics, I think we had 7 track and field athletes. We had 3 boxers. We had a judoka in there. There's one more sport. I think Abeku Jackson was in there as well for swimming. Now, I asked myself, really, I'm really asking the ministry, because I'm at a loss as to what the ministry really does. At this point, right, I need to really ask, because I remember the period between 2019 when Azamati burst onto the scene, like you said, that looked like our athletes had hit a certain golden peak where we needed to have followed through, supported them nationally, so that we can say that
Sort of have a proper plan.
for them. But you know how I feel, right? I feel like all our athletes at this point are sort of competing like in a charity sort of way for Ghana.
themselves even.
I mean, like, if you think about it, we don't have a full-time professional athlete in
We
Ghana.
don't.
All our athletes are sort of working 9 to 5s and then supporting themselves as a part of it. If you look at the nations who have had athletes who have excelled, don't even go global. Let's just do
The Nigerians
on the
just
continent. Good.
the Kenyans.
On the continent, they have had deliberate state investment in their athletes. Now, I remember watching table tennis at the All African Games where Aziz was competing. Now, the Aziz guy I was talking about, I said I really that story here. He belongs to the police service of Nigeria, but he doesn't wear a uniform to go policing
At all.
He literally belongs to the police and competes as a sports person. They pay him a salary
Every month.
He has a coach. He has a nutritionist. Like
They are all taken care of.
They treat him properly. We always sit here and laugh about how Ghana and Nigeria are similar in a lot of ways. I feel like Nigerians are very, very deliberate about their athletes. Like,
It's as simple as that.
At least in the last 10 years.
And it pays.
They've been very, very deliberate
It pays.
about their athletes. Now, let me give you another example. So, the African Games, we said we spent $250 million USD on the African Games. Now, guess what? I'm hearing things like we spent almost $8 million on the opening and closing ceremonies, right? Opening and closing ceremony, 8 million. 16 million on a games village the athletes didn't even sleep in. The Ghanaian athletes. People were picking taxis to their various training sessions and stuff like that. We glossed over all those things because we wanted the country to have a competition that, was worth showing the world. So we decided that, you know what, the negativity is enough, but
Indeed,
let's
that was our priority.
let's sell our positive stories. Fair enough. Now, athletes have braved all those conditions to be able to help the nation. It's been almost 7 weeks after the African Games, 6-7 weeks after the African Games. You have not paid any monies to any of the medal winners. Nobody who took a medal at the African Games has picked up any money. If we are lying, the ministry or the LOC should call into the program. We'll give them a platform.
The
We
spokesperson,
will
they have
give
not
them,
paid them.
we
the
will
one
give
who
them a
called
platform.
was wanting to talk to us the other day when we were talking about the car issue. If you want to talk, you come and talk.
This is the time.
This is the time to come and talk.
Athletes have not been paid.
You understand?
I'm asking what is weird to me is that how do you have a budgetary allocation of 250
And not factor that in.
and not pay so
not
wait
factor
so
that in.
so wait are they trying to tell us that the money to pay the athletes will come from a certain different pool which is currently not available?
Sikano Asa.
No, that can't be possible.
That cannot be possible.
I'm
When are you all?
not even going to entertain that because that can't be possible.
Hey.
You can't tell us that's the money. And they started agitating over 2 weeks ago. Over 2
And
weeks
see,
ago.
and
Still,
nobody's talking.
No,
No,
if you talk, they'll
no,
blacklist you.
the athletes have been gagged.
yeah,
That's
they
what-
have been gagged.
Yep.
So nobody at the ministry is talking. And we are using this platform to tell them that our athletes
Look.
who won gold, who won silver, who won bronze are telling us
you know
that
the
you've not
annoying
given. How much
when they won the medals, you people were seen cheesing in the pictures, collecting political glory from people's hard work. Now it's time to pay the people what is due them.
They gave them
And all of
phones.
a
I was
sudden,
there. They gave them phones.
It's Kwekwanance's stories, like hide and seek, pampanatins. Like, what's going on?
$3,000 6 weeks ago is not the same today.
Thank you.
Don't do that.
Thank
You see,
you.
don't do this. You see, when you do this thing, it amounts to wickedness.
And coach, I think that is basically it is the same vein in which we are running our like the athletics in conjunction
Exactly.
with the Olympics. Because if you do an African Games, there's no way that you should host an African Games worth 250 million USD and no athlete from your country is qualifying
Qualified to the Olympics.
That's just
That's
just
crazy.
unacceptable. And you see, we run the risk of sending even less athletes to the games than we did in the last Olympics. Because guess what? The boxing that was glorious 4 years ago, we took 3 boxers there the last time. Have you noticed a pattern with our boxing? Our boxers who have gone professional are the ones who are folding back to come and fight in the amateur ranks again.
To get us to
We
qualify.
have one IBA certified 3-star trainer in the country in Ofori Asare. And as much as I love Ofori Asare, you see, do you know what these things do? It means that Ofori Asare has a crazy amount of control on who gets into the national team.
Which is not fair.
Because if you don't fight in his gym or I'm not saying that's what he does.
Yeah, but there's the possibility that could happen.
I'm speaking hypothetically.
Exactly.
That if you don't fight in his gym or he doesn't find you favorable for one reason
fight
or the
according to his
according
style.
to his style,
Of
he's
course.
not taking
He's
it.
not
They are
going to
different
rogue you.
boxers, they are different
so
coaches.
let's ask
Their
ourselves.
styles.
This is to the boxing federation and to the amateur boxing people. What are you doing to train another Ofori Asare? In fact, coaching has always been the biggest bane in everything for us down here. What are we doing to train another Ofori? We need at least 3 to 4 of those type of coaches here. Now, they are struggling to qualify. They went to Senegal, I believe. 12.
They went to Senegal.
Yeah, they got beat.
They went
Went to Senegal,
Italy, right?
Italy.
Good.
Yeah.
Not
The
as-
next one
and
was, I think, Thailand.
Thailand is the one they are-
Thailand is the
They-
one that
they-
we
they-
didn't pay.
$18,000
We didn't pay. It was 21,000
Good,
actually, and we
good.
had to pay 18,000.
Good.
You know, they gave us a deadline. but
Right
we weren't able to.
now, as it stands,
Ghana.
nobody has qualified. No
What-
boxer has qualified.
When you were paid
No
18,000,
athlete.
No
we
athlete.
couldn't pay $18,000.
They gave
You
us
see,
a deadline.
look,
18th April. We
you
weren't
see,
able to.
you see. Look, when we were about to start the program, and I was in my spiritual element,
We're in the realm.
and I prayed. You see, the Bible says that hand which does not work
Should not eat.
should not eat. People are working on behalf of Ghana.
I think Ghanaian athletes are
They
doing
have
the country a
worked.
favor. oh.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
huge favor.
They are doing it as a favor.
You see, during the All African, we virtually came here and pleaded with them that the thing is here in Ghana. So we beg you, you forget about the money issue.
Yeah.
You forget about whatever treatment you've been given. It is in Ghana. Go show up for Mother Ghana, for yourself and for your family. We pleaded with these athletes,
Yep.
and some of them even told us that, look,
people have run
because
people
of
have
the
competed
plea,
with injuries for the country.
just to make sure that we don't get disgraced, we don't get embarrassed.
Now, former athletes flew from wherever they are, from the United States, from the Canada,
Deborah Aqua.
Canada.
Their
Deborah
own
Aqua.
money.
to
Oh.
train these athletes.
We
No, no,
promised
no.
we promised her a surgery when she went and competed with an injury in Birmingham. Ask her what has become of that surgery too.
You see, so look, Mr. Minister, the government of Ghana, the people of Ghana were told that $250 million has been put into this. I don't want to believe. Ghanaians surely don't want to believe, and we will not accept the situation where every athlete who won a medal, or I think gold medal, you were to get how many? $3,000. We can simply do the calculations here. How many gold medal did we win? Maybe the only gold medal won that will get you to pay more was the football people.
The team medals,
The team medals. But we can easily do the calculations here. I'm not sure that will rant in whatever amount of money we have to give them. May even form 1% of $250 million. Not even 1%. We are to pay athletes an accumulative amount, not up to 1% of the $250 million spent, and we are telling ourselves that we cannot pay them. We are owing them. And like I said earlier on, $3,000, the things it could do 6-7 weeks ago, it has changed.
And on top
Please
of that,
don't do that. This is wickedness. Don't do that.
They didn't give them timelines on a call to the ministries. They
Do
told
they
me that
need
they didn't give them
Timelines on when they are going to pay.
100%.
Are you look? Are you kidding me? They didn't give them timelines. Seven prayed.
We'll be knocking. We'll be knocking on the ministry's door this whole week.
Taflache. If it is the Black Stars, this money would have been paid long ago. You don't do these things and expect us to laugh with you. Some of us, when you do this thing, we pray the Black Stars never succeed. Because they are not more Ghanaians than those people in the other world sporting event.
Yep.
Look at the women. As we speak, they are getting ready to go and play in the Under-20 World Cup, isn't it?
Yeah. The last call then again to the women's team. The coach told me, no,
You understand?
It's okay.
They are going to be. They are getting ready.
That is more money about to pile up on the arrears that have not been
Already,
paid already.
their bonuses, their qualification bonuses, all have not been paid.
It's true.
Then the All African Games too is being added to it. If you cannot do the job, exit. What are you people using the money for? Mr. Minister, please don't do these things.
See,
when you behave like this, it's like you see you are being a bit wicked towards the girls.
No, they are being wicked.
And you
It's
put the
wickedness.
technical heads under pressure.
It's wickedness.
True.
Look at
now, technical heads have to tell
Yeah.
all kinds of stories
Lies.
to
All
motivate,
kinds of
to
lies.
motivate their teams
Lies.
to go and play. Just because somebody has competed and you have not given them what is due them.
And
But when it's time to take pictures, then you appear in your song and be taking political points.
Look, it is for the sake of these boys and for these athletes. That is why I want our 4x100 people to go and qualify. But if it's about the way we treat them, then there isn't the need for them to even think about leaving their jobs, leaving their education, leaving the things they do to earn a living and come and compete in the name of Ghana. Why do you put them through these things? Why do you do that? You are taking your pay every month. You are taking allowances. You are taking this. You are taking whatever is due you. Give them what it isn't that the money is not there.
As for that, we can't buy into it. That's
Nobody.
That you spent $250 million on a competition.
And you are owing our athletes after all that amount of money. Don't do that. When you do that, it's wickedness.
And when you even check on the medal list, this event we just held in that was just held in Ghana. That we've had a lot of medals for the country.
Yes.
And it's shameful
Look at
that the
arm wrestling alone. Look at the medal it gave to us. Can't you motivate these people? $3,000. I think 3,000 was for gold medal.
Yeah. Gold medal.
3,000 was a gold. So it is
3,000,
2,000 and 1,000.
So it tells you that not everybody is even going to get $3,000.
No.
Only those who won gold.
No.
Only those who won gold will be given $3,000. Look at our athletes. How much is a plane ticket from America to this? The guy who won the 200 meters and those people.
And you see, these are
What
the
is $3,000?
These are the things that demoralize athletes. And when you hear that a Ghanaian athlete wants to compete for the Netherlands, they want to compete for Madagascar.
Yeah,
they want,
You even give them your full blessing.
people
You bless them.
are always shocked to hear these things, but some
bless
of
them.
these countries are not as globally prominent as Ghana, but they invest and they are more deliberate about investing in their athletes to move to the next level. Look, we have not invested in this country. We have not invested in anybody. Coach, I'm going to do a round table thing. I want to ask each and every one of you which athletes you remember Ghana has invested. Just tell me.
No, zero.
Nathan, you have any athlete the nation has invested? You know anybody?
No. Even the officials, they pay for upgrading the very certificates. They use their own money.
The day the Ghana Athletics will stop securing scholarships for our athletes to go abroad to get American facilities to train with, our whole setup will collapse. That's what is going to happen.
Opening ceremony, closing ceremony. How much money was
allegedly close to $8 million.
No. Shata meke stone boy mena mafini aha meche ape amomo
and then the people who you should have been investing in they don't have any you haven't given them their money.
A humble appeal to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, please, Papa, no more won't babu fani no kwafebo won't babu fani you was about then charge obo ne kaibo akegbe be a ameshika eche.
Oh,
look, ameshika eche kraton. His Excellency the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, please, Papa, yes remo in kolaya comedy one. A comedy one.
$3,000 will do a lot of things for
But look, how much did we spend on the renovation of the Legon? Yeah, the university. 14? Is it 14 or 34?
If you don't control yourself,
we have a graphic. We have a graphic breaking down. There was the University of Ghana as a whole.
The stadium is 34.
34.
Yeah, 34.
And what's the capacity?
Thank you.
Yeah.
TNA.
Yeah, thank you.
But they spent. Gofield told that they spent $16 million.
We can get into logistics.
Charlie,
we need answers on these.
It is serious.
We need answers on these things because I think that this week that's what the ministry need to do. They need to come.
They should come out and tell us where the money is
exactly
and give the people their money and stop that.
With these people. Anyway, let's talk some Champions League action. Good games in midweek. Charlie, Tony Cruz was in action. Oh. The people's Tony Cruz.
Yeah, class Xavi Megani. Tony Cruz on a midfielder trouble. People don't put him in the class of those people.
To create the narrative that I don't like.
No. But
Charlie, what is this house flying?
You mentioned it.
Hey, that's so. Anyway, let's go. So 2-2 is how that game ended, and
that was a good game.
Yeah, Charlie, the way most classy started the game, I knew that he was personally motivated. You know, it's Bayern, and you know the funny thing that Tony Cruz is some kind of guy. They asked him about if the game against Bayern held any special. I was like, oh no, it's nothing. It's been a long time since I left. I played. It's just another away match. You are a liar. No, but he was in the kind of form that people think he's in all the time, but he's not in that kind of form all the time.
To be honest,
he was in sublime form. Or Cheche, like rice and stew mode.
Charlie, that finger,
you see, it just speaks to
players,
smart thinking. Yeah. But you see, a team that's one well coached, but a team that is very in sync with each other, right? Because think about it, Real Madrid have not replaced Karim Benzema. So the scoring burden has had to be carried by Vini and shared. Vini, Jude,
Rodrigo,
Jude Bellingham, Joselu to an extent. Yeah. So for me, tactically, I was just looking out to see how will Real Madrid handle the attacking bit of it. The first 10 minutes were very rocky. You could tell Bayern Munich started with a lot of heat. They wanted to score early. Once that goal didn't happen, and now I wanted to see how Real Madrid will handle the atmosphere. And I thought they handled themselves very well. Toni Kroos especially, setting up that first goal. And it was a joy watching it happen, Ben, because when he gave the pass, in my head, why have you given such a pass? I was asking, why have you given such a pass? Then I saw Vini. Then I said, oh, Vini's offside. Then he scored. And then I saw the replay
where
he
pointed. He was literally directing him.
Brilliant,
the zone.
Brilliant out to in run by Vini. And if you're a young player and you are watching, that is what you do.
Of course.
If you're a wide player, you do the diagonal out to in run because the defenders half the time they don't know where you are coming from, and you can catch them off guard if you make that out to in run. And I thought Vinny finished it very well. The calmness to see Neuer and then put the ball away. But I must give credit to Bayern Munich. I thought Tuchel responded brilliantly.
Bayern know how to play big Champions League.
Brilliant
There have been a
response
few
by
anomalies
Tuchel.
over the years.
You know, just to a simple tactical switch, swapped wingers,
Yeah.
got Leroy Sané a bit more on the ball, got him to overload one side.
Sané is wasteful.
That's
He
it.
should have
2-1.
scored early for Bayern.
You know, 2-1.
You see,
And
I think Tuchel selection could have been better.
okay.
And I
How
thi-
so?
Look, why was Alfonso Davies on the bench?
I think it was an.
I think it was a statement. I think it was a
They
statement.
have a
It
political
wasn't-
issue.
Yeah.
He's forcing he doesn't want to sign a new
He doesn't
contract.
He's not going to sign. He's
and
going to
he's
go.
and I think they thought that he would have motivations playing because
Because
he
it
wants
is
to,
Real
he
Madrid
wants to
he
go
wants
to
to
Real
go
Madrid.
to.
No, but that is absolute nonsense because that is absolute nonsense. You are in the semi-finals of the Champions League. You've not won
And
any
he's had
They are
time.
some
basically
injuries.
telling you that they don't trust the player.
No, but that
he's had
is-
some injury
so,
issues, so,
no,
yeah.
no. This one was nothing.
No,
It didn't
As a
have to
result
be
of
political.
injury.
He could have played.
It was a clear political decision, and you could clearly
Because
see.
Mazraoui is
Look.
naturally a right back.
Yes,
But they
and he
played
was
him
being
left.
forced to play, and you could clearly see that Real Madrid right back was the weakest link of the defense.
Yeah,
Vasquez,
Vasquez.
yeah,
Lucas
Lucas
Vasquez.
Vasquez.
So if they've had Alfonso Davies and Musiala on that side, they will cook the guy all day.
Yeah. About holding.
I watched the game and I was like, oh, if I was the coach, Alfonso Davies
Plays this.
Musiala.
And they brought him on with 7 minutes to end the
Are
game.
you serious?
I was so shocked.
Are you serious?
Politics at Bayern.
So he leaves.
Crazy.
He eventually leaves.
Yep. I'm sure
But
he was
if you
laughing
look
in his
at
head.
Bayern Munich, in my view, should have won the game
They should.
Yes,
they
yes,
should
they
have.
should.
because
They dominated.
most
the game.
people thought it's Real Madrid. They will go in there. Bayern.
no,
And I've
Bayern-
always warned people that
Bayern had them.
this Bayern Munich team, we all don't understand the sort of season they've had
Yeah. But they have a good enough team to go up against
to
anybody.
beat anybody on their day.
Yep.
We spoke about Harry Kane not coming to behave like Haaland. It's clear he didn't give himself to Rudiger and Co to mark him out. He got involved. He would drop to pick up the ball, link up play, and allow Bayern Munich to transit in a very good manner and then attack. For me, I want to look into the second leg. That second leg clearly favors Real Madrid. I think if Real Madrid plays the game at a certain tempo, I don't think Bayern can live with them, especially that back line.
They keep chopping and changing that back line.
That back line.
It was Nacho. I thought it was going to be Eder.
No.
Nacho,
I'm
Nacho, I
talking
think
about.
Nacho is suspended.
I'm talking about the Bayern Munich
he's
back
talking
line.
about
The Bayern
Bayern
back
Munich
line.
back
I'm talking about
So
the
they
Bayern
had,
Munich
so
back
the
line.
last game they had Mazraoui, Kim,
Mazraoui,
Min-jae,
Kim,
and
Min-jae.
then
Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer, and then right back they had
Kimmich.
Kimmich.
Joshua Kimmich.
Kimmich played that right back.
Kimmich is unhappy at right back as
As-
well.
and you could clearly see that he doesn't want to be there.
Yep.
So
The coach says Kimmich is
comes-
not a defensive midfielder.
it comes back to Toto
That's what
Alote's
this coach-
the sort of decision he has to make.
Yeah.
Because I do believe strongly that at the Bernabeu, if Real Madrid up the tempo,
And they're going
Eric
to up
Dyer will struggle.
Yep.
Dyer will struggle. Is it Moroccan or Algerian boy?
Mazraoui.
Mazraoui will struggle at left back. What Bayern cannot afford to do is to go to the Bernabeu and be afraid of Real Madrid.
I'm not sure they will.
No, they won't be.
No, when I say be afraid, I mean they don't have to be very
Cautious.
cautious.
Bayern, they don't know how to play cautious football.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that if
I
the-
think
is
with
it-
Tuchel,
with Tuchel,
they can easily do that.
they can easily do that. Because look, it is the semi-final. It is 0-0 in my view, 2-2, but 0-0 in my view, and it's all to play for. And like I said, this Bayern Munich team on their day, they can go toe-to-toe with Real Madrid. But in doing so, too, you need to be very smart. On the part of Real Madrid, I think what they really need to understand is that they can't afford not to qualify to the final at the Bernabeu.
Yep. The fans will be.
They just cannot afford not to.
Yeah. After
And
we've paid all that
you-
renovation money for the stadium.
You have the feeling that anytime they up the tempo, they have what it takes to undo Bayern Munich.
True.
And Valverde, I was shocked Camavinga didn't start the game in my view.
Yeah.
I
Played
thought-
the midfield of
Chouameni.
He went to Chouameni. He went to
Valverde
Chouameni,
and
Kroos,
Kroos.
yes, and then
Valverde.
later made the
Brought in
change,
Modric.
sent Tchouaméni
to
centre back.
I'm sure that is what they will do. Maybe Tchouaméni will be played at centre back and then Camavinga restored into the middle of the pack to allow. Jude Bellingham didn't have the best of
Bellingham
games,
didn't have.
but I think he will be a different animal at the Bernabeu.
Absolutely.
He will be very, very different because he's at the verge of making history. I don't remember the last time a player at that age, at that level, came to a team like Real Madrid and had the sort of impact.
It hasn't happened.
Maybe an
before.
English-
No, that's-
Maybe Raul.
no, at Real Madrid, but I think at Barca, El Phenomenal.
Ronaldo.
Yes.
But even
Yeah, not at Real Madrid, but
even in
Barca.
the context of Real Madrid, Raul was
Academy player.
and he was a striker. You
No, but you see,
understand?
but
Bellingham is
I'm
a
talking about
midfielder.
somebody who has not gone through the Real
right.
Madrid academy or something, and he's
just come
in
out
there,
first season.
and
Just
then
Yeah,
look at his age.
For Barcelona, El Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Look at his
Ronaldo
age,
from
the
PSG.
audacity,
19.
the audacity with
and
which,
that's some company.
of course, the audacity with which he's doing what he's doing, getting everybody to believe that when he's around, things will happen. If he were to step into that mood, I don't see how Bayern Munich. I don't see how Bayern Munich will
Chris,
survive.
okay. So if you had to pick, to pick a Real Madrid team, what would you go?
I think first and foremost, you should
What would
forget
you go
about
with?
that
Vasquez.
Hoselu, whatever it is.
I mean,
Akalata.
Joselu.
Cavaya will be back.
Yeah.
So clearly it has to be a back four of Cavaya, Mendy, of course, Rudiger, and then it's looking like Tchouaméni because
you play
Nacho is
Tchouaméni.
suspended. Then he goes back to the midfield he played against Manchester City. Camavinga, Valverde, and Toni Kroos, and then of course Jude Bellingham in front of them. The two wide guys who don't actually seem to start their movement from wide position. They're very much starting just outside the center circle, just outside that gap, so that it makes their run to go a bit shorter and a bit on point. I think if they do that, it's about the tempo at which they decide to play. I just don't think that Bayern Munich has enough pace at the back. That is why I don't understand why Alphonso Davies is not being asked to, because he is the.
They have Sasha Bowie on the bench.
It's just
That's why he's going.
yes, because some of
Like
the
he entered Bayern, and if you follow right, he entered
You've
Bayern.
gone to
and
bring
all of a
Eric
sudden
Dyer.
Decided to rock the boat. Good. And the Germans, if you listen to the German discourse, they think Dyer's a joke of a defender.
Of course,
And then
he's always
no, they completely think he's a joke.
He
And-
tend
and
to
there
look.
a
He was the reason why the South Korea boy didn't
Kim.
do well, because working with him
It's just different.
is just very
Because
difficult.
I thought Kim had a decent first 10 minutes, and then his game just went down.
Down like that, and more or less at fault for the first goal and all that, because his defensive partner. Go and look at the pass again. There, the gap between Dyer and Kim Min Jae
too wide.
was too wide.
If you have these issues with players, they have a hard time giving you 110%, especially in difficult situations. I'll
Exactly.
give you a good example. The Kimmich situation became so bad at Bayern. In fact, it was one of the reasons why Bayern decided that they were going to get rid of
Tuchel.
because Kimmich was literally valued as one of their best players.
And he was doing
and then
very
he literally
well.
just came into the team and said that Kimmich is not a defensive midfielder. He's not good at playing midfield. So he should go and play at right back. And if he doesn't want to play at right back, he should sit on the bench. What? Kimmich is literally one of the most coveted DMs in the world. And then you walk into Bayern and all of a sudden decide that he's not good enough.
That's why he's leaving.
That's crazy. Anyway,
I mean,
I think that's harsh,
in all
because
this,
in Germany, they play him as a right full back.
they've tried it, but the German system and the Bayern are kind of different.
But the last games that Germany have played under
I'm not
Nagelsmann,
even saying
It's because they don't have a right
in fact,
back.
They don't have a right
In fact, Kimmich had experience playing at right back before Tuchel's time.
Yeah, that's where he started
nobody
from.
said, but Kimmich himself has said that he feels more comfortable playing as a CDM. In fact, it is the Ghana Kojo Asamoah left wing back DM situation all over again. So I don't know about Tuchel. but
I love what Bayern
hopefully
Munich
he can
did in the
navigate.
second half. In the first half, yeah, they moved the ball around from side to side, from wing to wing, but it was too slow. You have as many as 3 touches before they moved the ball
Eric
from
Dyer,
one wing
Dyer.
to another. But look at the Leroy Sané goal. It was just one quick time passes.
Yeah.
Then they created a quick overload on Ferland Mendy. So if you look back at that goal, Ferland Mendy had 2 players running at him. It was Kimmich and Leroy Sané, and he used Kimmich as a decoy and quickly cut infield and smashed that ball past
That was a good
Lunin.
hit.
He absolutely smashed it.
Yep.
Then later, Eric Dyer had that big chance. That corner kick,
No,
Free header.
Headed it straight.
Look at the size of his head. That should have been headed to the back of the net.
And you could tell by the reaction of Thomas Tuchel that he was so pissed because it was a big chance.
Any side of the goalkeeper, and that's a goal.
Real Madrid were doing, I don't know, some kind of a zonal marking on their set pieces, defending set pieces, and Bayern Munich were tearing them apart, and they failed to take advantage of it. So for me, Real Madrid should absolutely abandon that zonal marking when it comes to defending set pieces. Otherwise, Bayern Munich will score from one of those situations and end up qualifying to the final. I tip Bayern Munich to do so.
But the last time they were there, they won a shootout, didn't they? Mourinho's time. So,
but this is Carlo. You see, in all the discussions,
It goes to shootout. Hardly would you see a German team lose on the shootout.
Penalty shootout.
They don't.
You want to say something?
and I'm saying that in all the argument we've advanced here, I've not heard the mention of Carlo Ancelotti, and I'm going through Carlo's mind. Yeah, and his focus is going to be that zone 14, and for me, that's where the threat is. The three guys you mentioned now,
midfield area.
and absolutely, and how he tries and orchestrates that. It's about his calmness. And in Nathan's argument, he mentioned that the calmness with which at times Vini Jr.
Charlie, guess what? Inaki Williams has scored a brace, and the two goals all
set up by his brother.
Yeah. Okay, but blaster and Mwanya Chile pass.
Have you seen my Anyway, let's move on with our lives. Let's talk about Dortmund and PSG real quick.
Overrated Sancho performance.
Relax.
Overrated Sancho performance.
I'm waiting for the Sancho Greenwood argument.
Allow him.
Let's talk. No, you are. Is he? You can't let people forget that.
Oh, yeah.
You are one of Sancho's biggest fans.
No. I used to be.
He says he used to be.
Like
The left back had problems.
yeah, he had problem dealing with him. But look, just before I comment on the game, on whether he should be brought back to United or not, I think he's a goner. If you are a true Man United person, take this advice.
You're going to lose significant money on him. You bought him for 75
That's
million.
why he's playing good. You see, nobody should get. I've read.
Dortmund don't have 75 million to give.
No,
United.
but it doesn't mean Dortmund will have to be the team to buy him.
Are you sure there's any team going to spend 70 on Dortmund?
That's why he's playing good. You see,
think the two teams
the man couldn't play well under the one who bought him.
under Solskjaer.
He couldn't play well under Rangnick.
Yeah.
He complicated his own issues under Ten Hag after all the support Eric Ten Hag gave to him. So it is more or less he's suited for the German Bundesliga. So let him stay there.
But then, even when Sancho went,
Let him
he
stay
got criticized heavily by
but
Edin
Terzic.
but
Terzic.
he took it in good faith, and then he played his football. But look, I don't think he should come back to Manchester United. If you are a Jim,
Just
Support it. I support it.
looking at
allow
everything
him
that's
to go.
Bring back Greenwood instead.
Of course, all day. That's my only criteria for coming back to support the team.
Like, if they bring back Greenwood, you are back.
Then I'm back.
That's your criteria. They are no team.
And see, I made me
Greenwood.
come. No, as Atani can wait. If he buys the team down,
You mean you soften your Greenwood is the softer stance.
that is it. If you bring Greenwood, I'll return immediately. Having said that, look, Dortmund, Charlie, they could have won the game, but about PSG only came to life in that second.
Yeah,
half.
true. The last
Yep.
20.
But in that first half, Dortmund, I think they should have won the game a minimum of 2 goals. They deserved that. Nobody saw this performance coming from them.
I didn't.
Nobody saw. I didn't see it. But on the day they were brave.
They were.
You see,
Where?
that is what as a coach you want your players to go and show the bravery and the sort of everybody thought that being the team playing at home they will be careful not to come, but they didn't mind.
And they are lost 4-0 in the previous game.
Yes.
In their previous
Round to them.
Them PSG were
in
the same
the
group.
Bundesliga.
They
If
lost
PSG
2-0 at home,
Yeah.
and then they drew the other
If
game.
PSG
Yes.
don't make it past Dortmund, that would be a disgrace.
But
Yeah,
well, the point is, Ben, then it means that next week they need to find their performance from the very first minute.
PSG have too many star performers,
See,
too
Ben,
many stars in this
the
team.
challenge is that it is now that they are beginning to understand that it takes a lot of organic work to grow a winning team. And you have to admit that ever since they started to walk away from these star players and they've handed the reins to a manager who has absolute control over his dressing room, things seem to be picking up.
The bling bling era.
The bling bling era is gone. The problem for PSG will be this. One, even if Kylian Mbappe, right, has to get going, he will need the others. How often are the others showing up? Now, if you hand responsibility to a young Bradley Barcola, this is big for him. Even though I've seen great glimpses of the brilliance, he has to do it. I watched Moussa Dembele play against Barcelona. He was in and out. Ousmane Dembele, sorry. In and out. They will have to get a 6.5 to a 7/10 from everybody. Vitinha will be key. And then they need to find a way of getting Gonzalo Ramos in there. The problem is that you have Gonzalo Ramos.
Why is he not playing?
I don't know why.
They have Colomwani.
You have Gonzalo Ramos, who is a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Then you have Kylian Mbappe, who always wants to get into the scoring position. So Enrique has got selection decisions to make.
I think it's easy. Start Colomwani, have Mbappe play off him. That's what he has advocated for all his years.
Play his best friend on the right wing.
Yeah, exactly. Play Colomwani through the middle. And he just needs to look at the Argentina-France game at the World Cup.
Yeah.
When they started Olivier Giroud, he wasn't able to apply pressure on that Argentine backline. But as soon as Colomwani came in, that game changed.
That guy
The
runs
Colomwani
like
self, look, his form has not been.
Yeah,
good.
PSG, it was a wrong move for him.
Yeah, but
he should have moved to a more competitive.
But
league.
you need his industry, you need his work rate, you need his power.
Yeah.
To go up against Schlotterbeck and Matt Hummels in that Dortmund backline. You need it. Then you have Kylian Mbappe play off him.
But there's the Chelsea loan player.
Ian Matson. Yeah, he's very good.
He's the one at the left. Charlie Paddy was solid. Why?
I'm surprised that
They let him go in the Kukudu.
Kukurea away. It's one of Chelsea's big problems, but we'll talk about
Believe it.
Let me read some messages from YouTube and then we'll talk about the Mother's Day dinner. Yeah, Charlie. If we bring mommy to dinner. Lisa Hotel on the 12th of May. I'll be telling you about it in a bit, so just hold on there for me. Let me get some messages from here first. I'll come to my YouTube in a bit and then I will give you some updates coming through. So this one here said that Ghana is still good and will qualify for the Olympics. Really, they will do the needful. Some more nyampon with that one. Ben, as a Ghanaian athlete, if you talk about this unpaid bonuses, they will blacklist you. This one here says, we the Chelsea fans won't accept that Heat is Chelsea and the Heart of Oak is Chelsea and next. Chelsea is 8th, i.e. 3 points from United. This is Wachi Kakra, Puka Kakra. Charlie, boys are misbehaving with the names. This one here says, regards to the rabbi, Heart of Oak is in crisis. How can you have your number one goalkeeper eating chibum and indomie? He cannot dive. We need quality management and quality players. The general with that one. This one's from Starboy from La Paz. Shout out to Starboy. Very consistent with texting into the show. Says, does Richard Atta watch the EPL games? And if yes, he should look at himself and the 20 EPL goalkeepers. Moses Kofi Noy says that can Chelsea qualify to play Europa in case they're able to win the rest of their games?
Yeah.
This one here is from Robert from Kaswa. Says that today I was looking at the Premier League table and to my surprise, Chelsea is just 3 points behind United. The United, we get problem. The team has had a bad season. It's just 3 points. The team that has had a really bad season are just 3 points behind us. Okay, you two people, I haven't forgotten you. Shout outs to our people in the diaspora as well. Comments coming through so far. This one says, this from Daniel Dure. Says, we can see the redness in coach still. Akuku Hillary says, Man City versus Wolves is not as easy as anybody thinks.
Okay.
This one here from Bar Entry Steve, he says Coach Davis has been poor all season. Charles Arthur says, so the sports minister, what does he do when he goes to the office? This one here coming through again from Aston Martin says the Bayern Dortmund final. Okay, interesting.
That would be an interesting.
That would be a repeat.
Repeat of the 2013
at Wembley at the same venue.
Wembley at the same venue.
Belgium close first Champions League loss.
This one is from Dennis Okaya. Says greetings to you all watching from Gulu in Uganda. So somebody getting to us, all the way from Uganda.
Shout outs to the
Uganda. Charlie. Let's talk about the Mother's Day dinner, man. They say you for bring mommy or any mother figure in your life. It's not about food. It's about coming to celebrate.
Bernard Abeku, Charlie. What's up with the dinner?
Charlie, this ambush there. Charlie, they say what's
Charlie, if I bring mommy,
are you bringing
Charlie,
mommy
I go
or the
bring
mother
mommy,
figure?
mommy.
Mommy.
Yeah, mommy.
Charlie, so what's it? No, in Chin band kakra.
Too much.
Crafted cocktails
In
kakra.
chichos.
Oh,
In
Charlie.
chichos.
Yeah, man.
One time for the enchichos, you know, some how do you call it, yam balls, kakra, you know, some way. Charlie, it's going on. They say you should just come, you know, enjoy good live band music, celebrate mama. Basically, Charlie, Mr. Kwa, what's it doing?
Oh, I said someone on him, so be there, you know, to celebrate our moms.
12th of May, Alisa Hotel Pavilion, Northridge, 4 p.m.
The Hogbani Banochi.
12th of May. 12th of May.
And
It's
it's
only
450.
only 450 Ghana cedis.
bring
Coolly
mommy out.
for the whole experience. For the whole experience, the live band,
Let's bring mommy
crafted.
out.
You know, they say let mama sip on handcrafted cocktails. Ah,
Too much.
repeat that again for me.
Mr. There in Chinchim for no ban.
It's a warm atmosphere. The City TV Mother's Day dinner. The City TV Mother's
Wait,
Day
nah,
dinner.
watch on live.
Oh, of course.
Wait, now watch on live.
You get photo opportunities. Like it's such an immersive experience. Like really, like if you've seen any of the past ones we've done, like we know how to do Mother's Day,
Of course.
at City. You know, you understand
Very beautiful.
from the portrait of Mama
We
to
are
the
family.
like.
We are family. Anything.
Thank you very much, my brother. We know how to do these things out here, so that's how it is. Like, come give Mama a good experience, like great experience. Let's do it on the 12th of May, 4 p.m. Alisa. Just 450. That's kind of quite. I mean, say those of you who want to do things for your mama, that's even chicken change because that's nothing really. I mean, all the things Mama has done in your life. 450 Ghana, nothing really for you. So come through with Mama, come celebrate her, come celebrate that mother figure in your life. Now, to reserve a table for the City TV Mother's Day, you can call 0205 973 973. Very easy number to remember. Let me repeat that.
0205 973 973.
Perfect.
Of course.
It's easy to remember. The City TV Mother's Day is powered by City TV. Support from 97.3 City FM. Proudly sponsored by GTP, Dano Milk, and Verve Duvenet, as long as Long Mountain.
Verve Duvenet.
Yeah.
Duvenet.
Mr. Kwa, I need
Champagne makers.
Mr. Kwa, I need translation.
That's like premium shop. Veuve du Vernet. Okay, Veuve du Vernet means the widow.
No more touch the Verve
Charlie.
Duvenet.
You see, I'm making it in English.
C'est la veuve. La veuve du Vernet, the widow of Vernet. So the story is that the guy who started brewing or making the champagne, he learned the art from a widow in Vernet.
You see, when you come, this is like you learn these type of
You
things.
understand? So in honor of that widow, so he decided to name the champagne.
And we are honoring Mama too on 12th May. Yeah, honor
Charlie,
Mama.
say something in French for me. Pay the athletes their money. How do you say that?
Oh, if for pay les athlètes.
Thank you.
One tria.
If for pay,
Les athlètes.
Yeah, also
Payer
come
les
from
athlètes.
Gaza.
What's the call with
Payer les
one
athlètes.
cheer?
That phrase, yes, it count reminds me. Reminds me of something. It reminds me of someone.
May athletes
I was going to mention it, but I'll mention it. Shout out to our seniors in the game. I had to mention some name, but I'll mention.
don't do that. Let's do a few shout outs before we go.
You first do the Osabuti thing for me.
Oh. Hold on.
Do the Osabuti thing for
Hold
us.
Oh, is it our good friend?
Our good friend.
Our good
Ani
friend.
Osabuti.
I need Osabute.
He's still hoping and praying that
Hold on.
Arsenal will win the league.
I'll give that to you in a minute. This one says there's a special prayer and also recognition for all widows. So there's that happening as
wonderful,
well.
wonderful.
And special cake cutting for all mothers who celebrate their birthdays.
That
Charlie, see.
Zedzel.
The people they've covered all angles.
All for
Like
450?
they've all for 450.
man.
Come on, man. Won't pay way now, won't pay then. You go cut special cake you be giving special prayers. I wish the rabbi was there to give some of the prayers. It's all good.
Thank you much on
Yeah, man.
Special cake cutting for all mothers who celebrate their birthdays in May at the dinner. So
Wonderful.
take note of that. I think it will be such an enthralling experience. Really, just come through, come celebrate Mama, come celebrate that mother figure in your life. That's what it is. That's what it is, Coach.
But he said
They say, please, I'm getting a message from my good, Frema Edunyame.
That's right. She said.
Frema Edunyame.
Champion Frema, super
Inalepo.
the whole deho.
Dynamic Frema.
Dynamic
Thank you, yeah,
The
man.
only thing about Frema I don't like is that she supports Manchester City.
I have never understood that thing.
She has to explain
I
to
have
us
never.
with the aid of diagrams. But
I've
she
never.
says that there's a special place for the rabbi at the dinner.
Thank you.
You don't have a problem.
In Dumojalami
Oh, Charlie. Odumomini.
Dumojalami.
That kind.
Fool.
So that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Let me do something real quick for Anil Sabuti.
Osabuti.
Charlie, Anil Sabuti. Arsenal must win the league for
Oh,
Anil
Charlie.
Sabuti. If only him.
He says if Arsenal wins the league, no more. Now he's not in town. He's far away.
I want to see if I'm pronouncing this one. So he says, big shout outs to the people of Pram Pram for this year's La Lue Pledomi 2024.
No, Oche.
Next week, Tuesday, we want to invite the entire Gadangme and everyone interested in documenting tradition to come to Pram Pram. 1 p.m. prompt is the last of 3 celebrations. Thank you.
Now go there.
Anil Sabuti, thank you very much. You're a good man.
He says
Arsenal will
Arsenal wins
for
the
you.
league. Today I spoke to Zigatu. Samuel Ziga.
Oh, no more cigar.
Oh, yeah, no more.
No, Eyewala.
No more Yewala.
He was at the North London.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no more.
My man is globetrotting.
In fact, since he went, Arsenal have been on some crazy winning streak.
Yeah,
So
man.
it be like Numo Ziga go bring the thing. It be Ziga where they take the thing, where he take go give a teta. So, Coach.
Charlie, it's a birthday shout out.
Yeah.
And it is to my brother-in-law.
Oh.
My wife's brother. To my brother-in-law. My wife's brother. Said Okain Yeboah, who is the financial controller at Netis Ghana Limited. It is from myself, Coach Nimley, from his lovely sister who happens to be my wife, his nieces, Davida, Babette, Odelia, Mamiama, and his lovely daughter, Mayfia. We say happy birthday, said, and may the good Lord bless you. Continue to enjoy your life. May the good Lord use you than he's ever done. God bless you, and we are grateful to God for your life. Happy birthday, Seth Okain Yeboah, the financial controller at Netis Ghana Limited.
Nice one. Any more shout outs?
Yeah. Paddy someone keep custom. What's we doing live?
Great.
What's why about it?
We're doing live.
Why about it?
We're doing live.
Baby.
What Pax FM? Charlie, I'm me feeling one dread.
Let me do one more for one of my big men, one of the father figures in my life, Mr. Osa Adama. Mr. Osa
Numo
Adama.
Osa
No, he's a big man.
Numo kake numo jibo no
He's a
shi.
big man.
Ogborodenche.
Mr. Osa Adama.
Adama.
He's a big man, Charlie.
Daddy, okay. Big shout out.
No, too big.
Yeah.
One bell for the man.
bell.
Ilaka.
No, he's a big
Ofa na
man.
check back.
Mr. Osa
Mr. Osa
Adama. It didn't cry.
Oh yeah,
Baby.
oh yeah, hard.
Hard.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout to the 2004 year group of Accra Academy.
Bleubi.
Yeah. All the Bleubis in the 2004 year group. Last Friday,
Yeah.
we went back to share a few words of wisdom with our younger brothers. It was a career day in school. Yes.
You should have told me that. Although I had completed
way
before.
before, but, so it was nice meeting all of them. So shout outs to all the teachers. Shout outs to the year group for putting it together.
Okay.
Shout outs to my mates who were there. I was on the panel as well. It was an honor just going back
Exactly.
and sharing wisdom with them.
Challenges
So,
from
2004, let's keep it.
Yeah, a big shout to Michael Dagger. A big shout to Nanato Boateng. He held it down for eyewitness.
The rave master.
The rave master. Eyewitness news. Yeah, he held it down before we came over into the studio. A big shout to Nanato Boateng, and a big shout to my people in Sunyani GSP Basketball League. The final is going down, the playoffs this Saturday. So move over to the Sunyani Technical University to support them.
Ben, I beg, another big shout out to
Fante Kro. Na young fine silly. My Mother's Day adin.
Mother's Day. I say Mopocho said Doma no mami wo ota sanya kupona e wa adom. Yes say ho. Or there new mami will show up big time. It's Mopocho men febi bia accident. 12th May.
Alisa Hotel.
Alisa Hotel. No nan pepe ne o.
Thank you.
Any mama wo me say o.
Thank you. It's that time of the year, Mother's Day. Celebrate that special woman in your life with a delicious and heartfelt Mama's Day dinner. Treat her to special meals prepared with love and care, just like from her kitchen. Let Mama sip on handcrafted cocktails. Let's all join Mama dance the evening away with great live band music from the Inchinchim band in a warm and welcoming atmosphere at the Citi TV Mother's Day dinner. It's our turn to show appreciation and gratitude to her for all her sacrifices with a beautiful dinner. It's Sunday, 12th May, Alisa Hotel Pavilion, North Ridge, 4 p.m., 450 CDs. Don't miss this opportunity to show your mother how much she means to you. To reserve your table now for the Citi TV Mother's Day dinner, call 0205 973 973. 0205 973 973. Citi TV Mother's Day dinner is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and proudly sponsored by GTP, Dano Milk, Verve de Venet, and Long Mountain. My name is Benjamin Nketiah. You heard Nathan Kwao, Yao Jaminta, Abeku Otre, and Coach Christopher Nimley. Thank you guys for the YouTube messages, for the text messages as well. The Premier League preview show comes up right after this. Don't touch that dial. Enjoy.